Hey everyone, you know, one of the biggest questions I get is what do I start my seeds in? What kind of mix do I start them in? Now I know that there's different views on this, and people will say, well, just start them in whatever you have. I start mine in dirt, or I start mine in compost. And okay, that's great, but I've got a little project going on that I want you to take a look at. And I started 2 Window Box Romas in little 6-inch pots, and I started them both in pure potting soil that we got at our local shop here. And I wanted to show you guys what they look like. Now I repotted one, but I left one in the potting soil, and this has been 2 months. I want to show you what it looks like. That's it. We got about a 2-inch growth there. Now this was June 15th. I started this. It's now August 15th now. July 15th, I repotted one of them into perlite and peat moss and a little bit of potting soil. And this is what we get. This is 4 weeks. 4 weeks ago I repotted this one. These two are the exact same age. Okay? Now, when anybody tells you it doesn't matter what you grow these in, this is living proof. I'm going to bring you in closer. I'm going to show these a little bit closer. Okay, I want you folks to take a look at this. Now this one here, just a few days ago, I changed its mix out, and I did put it into a little bit of perlite and some peat moss and a little bit of potting soil. Now this one here is the one that I repotted. It's about 7 or 8 inches tall now. And this one I repotted. I started them both June 15th. I repotted this one July 15th. They were the same size when I repotted it. And this has been about 4 weeks, and look what we have. Okay. Now the reason being, people will ask, well, how come this is happening? Well, for one reason, this potting soil, when I used this, I knew that the potting soil was going to be too dense. And if it's too dense, your water is not going to flow, and you're not going to get good aeration. You're not going to get good oxygen into the soil, and your roots are not going to be able to grow. This is what happens when you give your plants plenty of room to grow. Now, the one thing with this here you're going to have to remember is that since it has perlite and peat moss, it doesn't have as much nutrient in the soil. So this is going to have to go into a bigger pot, and when I put in a bigger pot, then of course I'm going to put it in a lot more compost. It's going to be probably 75% compost. So these both will get repotted. But this is what you get when you use good seed starting mix right here. Now this one here, when I repotted this one just recently, it's been in here for 2 months, and believe it or not, I thought the roots were going to be rotted, and they weren't. So we're going to give this a go and see what goes on here. But these are both Window Box Romas, and they're both exactly the same age. So I just wanted to show you guys that that growing medium does make a big difference. So grow your stuff in really good mix, and you won't have some problems like this. All right, we'll catch y'all later. Be sure to stop over to growyourheirlooms.com, where we have podcasts, gardening Q&A, tips on year-round gardening, survival gardening, and current projects that are going on.